All right, guys. I'm really excited for today's guest. It was very improvised. I met her some weeks ago, and then I started looking at her Instagram. She is, and then you're gonna tell us, she is about to make a very important change in her life, in her life's journey, which is exactly what the hero's journey that I talk about is about: embracing change, facing challenges, and evolving as humans. Wow, that was very well said. I didn't
That was
prepare.
perfect.
Yeah. So she's also gonna talk about where she's from. She moved to America just like me as an immigrant, and I'm curious to know her story and more. So, welcome, Adriana.
Adri Mora now. That's part of my reinvention.
What is it?
Adri Mora is like
Adri Mora, oh, that's
Adri,
your-
but it's like a
That's the
nickname.
new. Okay, okay.
In the reinvention. Super.
Let's
Thank
start from the
you.
beginning. Where are you from?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. It was really, really nice to be here.
Of course.
I'm from Venezuela.
Okay.
I have been living here in Miami 8 years and a half already.
8 years, okay.
Yeah. In next August, I'm gonna have 9 years. I came actually with the corporate world.
Okay.
I started to work in Procter Gamble in Venezuela, and then they moved me to Panama, and from Panama they moved me to Miami, and that's why I'm
Okay.
here.
Was it in English? Like you were working like in an English company, speaking English, or you had to
It's
learn
American.
that?
Procter Gamble is an American company,
Okay.
and yes, obviously most of the roles has English. And actually, I didn't know to speak English, and I'm still learning. But
Oh, you didn't know?
I know when I started P&G, I didn't know to speak English.
Really?
Yeah, and part of the growing process, I knew it that to grow in the company, I had to learn to speak English, and then I asked to move to Boston, and I spent there for like around 3 months learning
Oh,
English.
okay.
Yeah,
How
and
was?
then all the roles had been like in Spanish and English, and
Okay.
well, I'm
So-
doing my best.
From Venezuela to Boston.
Yeah, in Venezuela, I went to Boston, but just for learning English.
Okay.
And I was like part-time working with Procter Gamble, and then part-time studying English.
Okay.
So I stayed in Venezuela like most of my career. Then they moved me for an international assignment in Panama. I spent 6 years in Panama working for beauty categories for Latin America.
Okay.
And being in Panama, they sold the brands that I was managing to Coty, which is a beauty fragrances company. And they moved me from Panama to Miami.
Okay.
And then here in Miami, the company started to change a lot of things. It was a migration, and it was like very hard times. And I started to look for options. And then the CEO of the company that I'm actually working from, she was previously in Procter & Gamble. So we started to have contact together, and she told me, come to help me with the digital transformation of the company.
Okay.
And then I moved from Coty to Belcor, which is the company that I'm working for a little bit more.
Okay.
And now I'm jumping to the entrepreneurship.
Before we go there, what is Procter and Gamble? I don't know what kind
Procter
of
Gamble
industry
is a multinational company. It's a CPG, customer goods company. The owner of Pantene, Tide,
Okay.
Pampers,
Like beauty cosmetics.
beauty cosmetic as well, but they are more like massive goods like Tide, Cascade, Pampers,
Okay.
Pantene, Head and Shoulders.
Okay.
And they have the beauty category. They are starting to have it again, but when I was, they had makeup and fragrances. That
Okay.
was the division that I was managing
Okay.
for Latin America. CoverGirl, Mac Factor, and also
Oh, wow.
the prestige fragrances like Gucci, Dolce Gabbana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What city are you from? What city in?
City in Venezuela?
Yeah.
Maracay is the name.
Maracay.
Maracay.
What,
Yeah.
how's that?
It's
I've never been, so like I'm trying to imagine.
It's a very warm town.
That's on the coast, right?
It's in the coast, yeah, in the north, very close to Caracas, to the capital.
Okay.
And well, I grew up there, and then I started in Procter & Gamble in Caracas, and I was actually moving from my town to Caracas very often during the week. Yeah.
Wow.
from there.
So and did you always wanted to move out of your country?
No, always, but Venezuela have faced a very difficult political situation.
Yeah.
And I would say that around 18 years ago, I started to think like we have to go out for my daughters. This is not a safe place, and I had the opportunity to go out because I was in P&G, that is a multinational
Global.
company, and part of the career path was to take an international assignment.
Okay.
So I started to look for that, and I got it, and I moved.
Your whole family, they were okay with this?
Yeah, it was a process. I'm divorced, but my ex-husband had his company there.
Okay.
And all the family also was there, but I was always like putting first my family and even our safety, and I knew that it was a good opportunity to get
Have a
out
better life.
with Procter, because I had the opportunity to move from Venezuela with a good job and
Okay.
a good place. So I talked with him in that moment. It was like a strong negotiation,
Yeah.
but at the end we agreed that it was the best decision for both and for the family and for the girls, and we moved to Panama, and it was like amazing.
So, but wait, when you moved, you were still together? Yeah, okay. So you said ex-husband now, but at the time
Exactly.
you guys... Okay, okay.
We moved together to Panama. We
Wow.
were in Panama
You have...
together.
How many kids you have?
2.
Okay. And they how did they embrace the change, the transition?
The first one, it was like, I think the first movement from Venezuela to Panama was the hardest for me.
Is it a very different culture?
No, it's very similar, but it was the first time that you moved out from your country is like, even I think there was like a moral feeling, because Venezuela was having a very hard time, and I felt like I left my country, and it's
Yeah.
like a shortcut rather than being there to fight for the
I know exactly what you're
situation.
saying. Yeah.
So I feel a little bit bad, but well, at the end,
You have
it
to
was
think
the
about
best decision.
yourself and,
Exactly.
your
Focus
family.
on the future. Focus on the. This is gonna be better for the family, and we moved, and it was like a 6 month really really hard the process.
Yeah.
But at the end, all the family was super happy. My daughters loved Panama. We
Okay.
had an amazing time. Very very good friends.
Okay.
So it was nice.
And
Yeah.
Panama is it like more like America or more like...
Yeah, it's Central America. It's a country around 7 million.
But is it like modern
population.
and rich?
Yeah, it's like a mix, but they have in the Panama City. Yeah, it's like a similar to Miami in a small,
Smaller scale.
Exactly, small scale. Yeah, but it's
Okay.
very nice. Actually, the neighborhood are called very similar to
Really?
Doral, where I live. It's like I live in Doral. Yeah, it's very similar. But I love Panama.
And then the moving to America, USA,
Yeah.
America, did you ever had you're the first immigrant that I have the interview, because everyone else was
Uh-huh.
America. So I'm gonna ask you questions that I never asked.
Sure.
Like, did you have the American dream?
I had a
we
dream
have this,
of
yeah.
having a different citizen,
Yeah.
because at the end I was like looking for having like freedom that I was not being possible to have it in my country. So it was not like American dream. It was a dream of having freedom and having a nationality, a citizen that I can move around the world. And with Venezuelan passport, I was not able to have that. So
Okay.
at the end, I did my research, and United States was one of the countries that I could have a job, add value, and also have a citizen. So it was a
Grow
good
up,
option.
your
But the
family.
reason why was the citizen. It was not like the American dream per se.
Okay.
Because
okay.
I was having like a
Good
very
life.
good life.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
according to my previous perspective, it was a good life.
Yeah. We'll get there. Okay. So then, okay, you moved to Miami. Your family here. You start working at the American division of
Yeah.
the company. Um,
It was moving. It was here, but it was to manage Latin America anyway.
Got it. Okay. You told me last time that we spoke that the first few years in Miami you didn't really like
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think that you see what you want to see. And in that moment, I was like passing for many challenges. And at the end, I just saw in Miami like artificial people, like super
Superficial.
bling bling, superficial, sorry for superficial people. Like I call them like bling bling. It's like showing off. And,
Yeah.
and I was not like feeling I'm not part of this.
Yeah.
But at the end, well, I saw many positive things. One of my daughters is very, like, she loves gymnastics and then cheerleading. So here, the support to sporty girls is really good.
Okay.
So I started to see the positive side, but I was not like feeling like this is my place. I was always thinking that I'm gonna move in a near future.
Okay.
But I realized that it was like I was not interested in meeting the people that I wanted. It was like just focus on my work and my
wow.
family, and
Okay.
I didn't have network. I didn't like go out to meet people.
Okay.
Because now my perspective is totally different.
Huh. So how old were your daughters when you moved to Miami?
11 and 13.
Were they like, wow, we're going to America? I
Yeah,
can't wait.
well, they had now they are like a very much more similar, but in that moment they were like very similar, very different personalities. So the oldest one was like, yes, let's move to Miami. I'm closer to Hollywood.
She wants to be an actress? Is that-
Yeah, she was like, I'm going to America. And the youngest one, she was like, she loved Panama. She still loves Panama. And she was like, no, this is my country.
She was more sad.
Yeah.
She had
So
her
it was
friends,
totally different reactions.
Oh, wow.
And when we arrived here, it was even like very different. Barbie, like with the cheerleading, she was like this. Next day, she was happy. Sorry, she was nice as well. She was fine because she got a lot of friends very often. The good thing of being an immigrant from Venezuela, as an immigrant, you have a different attitude, like starting to meet people.
Yeah.
And also being from Venezuela, we have a lot of Venezuelan friends here. So it was
it's a big community.
Exactly, it's a big community. I had a very close friends that they helped me to like landing, and it was like very soft landing, to be honest.
So then you said the first few years you were just focusing on work. What happened after that?
Well, life change. No, at the end, when I moved I was like working in Coty, and the financials of the company started to be like really bad, and they decided to sold the branch where I was in charge of.
Okay.
So they were planning to close Latin America branch that was here in Miami, move to Mexico, New York. They told me, do you want to go to Mexico, New York? And in that time, my daughter was in like in the middle of teenage. I was like 15 years old, 13 and 15, and I said, no, I'm not moving. I was starting my green card process, so I started to look for options, and then appears Belcorp, which is the company that I work for, now. And has been an amazing experience there. I was
What's
actually...
Belcorp? What
Belcorp is a beauty industry company as well,
okay.
But it's like a direct selling. We sell product through magazines. It's like door-to-door model. And I'm in charge of moving that model to a cell phone, so transforming the business to a digital way of working.
Okay.
And it was has been an amazing.
And they said you can stay in Miami, you don't have to move.
Yeah, because they moved the headquarters for Miami, so it was like a perfect timing.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people because many of them work also in Procter Gamble before, so I
Like
had
the family moved to the new
exactly. It
company.
was like the family moving to. It was like a mini PNG. So I spent I'm gonna turn to 5 years in April.
Okay,
The
okay.
company managing the digital transformation.
Okay. But now, what happens in April?
It's gonna be a very exciting journey.
And here we go in what is going on?
The hero journey is closer.
Because you decided that you don't want to work in
Yeah.
corporate anymore.
Yeah. There are many things that have been happening in the last 3 years
Okay.
that had made me to reflect on what I really want. But at the end, let's start by one of the key triggers of my decision was in all my assignments, I have been very careful on keeping my balance of my life, my different roles. I have been always very, obviously, my daughters are my first priority, but also my wellness, my working out, my friends, my family. So I have been trying to keep that balance. And for me to be able to achieve all the results along all my career have been developing high performance teams. So I realized that I really love to help my team to grow and to achieve what they really want.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to study a lot. How can I help them to be better? And I started to, study mindset transformation, coaching for high performance.
Can I ask you something?
Neuroscience.
Was there like a moment that you were like, okay, I want to go in that direction. I want to start studying this. I want to change the course of my life.
Well, there was not only one thing, there are different things. But around 3 years ago, my oldest daughter, Barbie, was studying in the process of university.
Okay.
And she was always very sport girl.
Focused.
Yeah, and she loves sports in general and adrenaline, and she's really, really good driving and this type of girl. And from my perspective, it was okay, the way to go is study, go to the university, get graduated, go to a job. That was
the traditional
life. That was my life, and for me it was perfect.
Okay.
So we started that process here, and it's very demanding. It's SAT, all the essays for the university, list your top 10 university priorities.
It's a long process.
Yeah, long process and very stressing.
Stressing for her.
For her and for me and for
everyone. Okay, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but long story short, in one of the process that I was, okay, Barbie, we have to make a decision where you're going to do. And
how old was she when this was?
She was 17.
I mean, this is a big decision for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, it's feels too hard.
A lot of pressure. Yeah. Oh, you need to know where you're gonna go, the university, your job, because your life is gonna depend on this.
Yeah. And on top of that, I was I don't know what happened. Well, I have many things in my life in that moment, but I was a control freak with her. It's super, super strict and strong with the rules, and she was obviously she was not in her mood,
Yeah.
So at the end, long story short, I was putting pressure on her, telling her okay, we have to make a decision. What you're gonna do? Go to the university.
Decide now.
Exactly. And that was one of the biggest trigger that she told me, okay, Mom, I'm not clear what I want. I don't know what I want yet. But what I know is that I don't want your life.
Wow.
I don't want to have all actually she said not everybody wants to be like you. I want to have my own life. Obviously that moment for me was shocking at the beginning, but I remember that I was just silent, think, don't talk.
She knows this. You told her this.
Yeah, actually, we have talked a lot, and the story continues because at the end, I was okay, let me understand why she doesn't like my life. For me, from my point of view, my life was dream.
You moved
It
to
was
a
like
different country.
Exactly, corporate life, traveling around the world. I know like more than 25
Comfortable.
countries due to my job.
So
And
your world collapsed when she said that.
yeah, and but I was like, okay, what can I learn from this, and why she doesn't want to have a corporate life? Why? And I started to talk with her, and after several conversations, the conclusion is, I mean, she said, "Ma, I want to have control of my life. You don't have control of your life." And all the control that you don't have, you are putting the control on me.
Whoa,
You are control freak with me.
you're smart, huh?
Super smart. I always say her like, you are the bravest girl that I know in this world.
I don't know you, Barbie, but
You
so
are
far
the-
you're amazing, incredible.
Yeah, and then I started to see, wow, this generation is brave. It's like the courage of this generation is amazing, because I started to see that in my team as well, that they are not Gen Z, they are like young millennials, but also I see reactions actually it's like, no, I don't want that position because that's not in line with what I really want. And it's like, you're studying, like how you don't want that position that is like, no, that this is what I want. I mean, these young people, they really move when they are convinced with what, if the assignment, the role, or whatever it is adding to what they believe.
Is aligned with the.
Is aligned, exactly. Is aligned with what they believe. So I started to be like passionate about these new generations. Obviously, they have a lot of things that we have to help them. That we were talking also is like physical relationships. They
Yeah.
don't know how to have a strong, a solid relationship. That's why they feel a lot of loneliness, and they feel alone.
You mean like relationship?
Yeah,
with-
physical relationship
with a
is
person,
like
with
exactly,
another person.
like talking like we were in the gym. Like, hey, no, they are like with headphones in the phone. They don't interact like humans. They interact by a phone,
digitally, virtually.
So that's something that we have to teach them, because it's very important for human being and for the best performance. It's very important to
Have that
these
level of-
physical interactions. For
How do you
relationship.
how do you teach like your daughters that? How can you teach?
Go out and meet people. But for my team, for example, that is one of the new things that I want to do, is like developing teams that achieve high impact at the same time that they can have a happy life and healthy life.
Okay.
So what I'm try. I mean, with my different teams that I have managed, I always try to create like this sense of community, that we are not just a teamwork. We are a community. We help each other to get the targets, and some actions that I take is, for example, we have like a section that is called Hablemos Days, talk about a topic, and I share what I learn, and they share what they have been learning in the last weeks. Or
But
the
like
last
professional on their personal life.
personal, professional, something that you learn.
Okay.
And we can like a talk table, we talk about that. Also, I always encourage them to go out and, okay, take a coffee, drink a coffee with whatever person. If we have a new member, go to the new member and offer help, and say, if you need something, talk with me. And that sense of community is very important in the working spaces.
If you don't tell them, they wouldn't do it. Because I mean, to me, it sounds
Like normal.
so normal.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they
It's-
shouldn't tell me. If someone
Yeah.
new go there, hey, what's up? Hey, how's it going?
It's very common to talk about professional work topics,
Yeah.
but it's not as common as should be to talk about personal life at work. So what I try is to, I mean, we are a person that work and live and work out and have family. At the end, we are the same. It's not like a personal life, professional life. You are the same person.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to encourage in the teams. It's like you are a person that works, and you can talk here about how you are, how you feel. It's not like a therapist, but we are a team, we are a community, so we can help you. And that sense is not very common. It's much more like networking with an interest for work, but it's not an interest for you as human being. So
your
that's a
focus
difference.
is you want to put the focus on the human before the worker.
Exactly. As a consequence, the work is going to be much better, for sure. Because when you feel valued and you like this sense of being part of, or belonging, you deliver with passion.
Now, I'm going to play the devil's advocate, okay? I don't know anything about corporate. I never worked corporate, but the stigma that corporate has, it's like very dehumanizing. You're just a number. You're there to produce. No one really cares about how you feel and all of that. You have a different approach, but how do you don't own the company? How does the company sees this attitude versus we don't care if you take them out and they socialize. We just care that you make the numbers. Like how do you combine these two
it's
things?
a challenge.
Being a human
Exactly.
in a corporate.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I think that some companies are evolving in that way. Some companies are not. But that's why actually I want to talk with this leader that is in the middle of the pyramid, because that is like suffering that situation, because most of the companies are like a very strong rules and politics, because have been working like that for 50 years or more, and the new generation thinks like totally different. And who is suffering most is the leader, which is in the middle, like leading the team that is coming and having to report.
So you, essentially.
You and exactly, and the team that reports to me, exactly. And we
Because
have
you
to
are
balance, exactly. So you have to balance that. It's part of the role of leadership, because at the end you have to, to have the courage to report the numbers, give results, but at the same time be inspiration for your team and keep that resilience and keep like moving forward. So it's a challenge. There are companies much more evolved, above all the digital tech companies.
Like the new companies.
The new companies have a different approach. For example, even Google, Netflix, they have like a free time. You are like an entrepreneur working for them. So you have like, for Google has like 20% of their time you can work in your entrepreneur's project or any different project. And even if they like the project that you are working on, they invest on your project. So it's like an incentive if you put your project on the table that is your entrepreneur project or whatever. They invest on you, so they motivate that. Netflix, for example, they work like independent, so you can take time off whenever you want. You can work whenever.
Really?
Obviously, there are like a salary adjustment if you take any, but you can be independent. If you need to go to X country, you can take that time off and move and then come back.
Okay.
So there are a lot of companies that are evolving that.
Because the corporate world is understanding that the world is changing, that the new generation.
The new companies, they are understanding. There are also, obviously, these companies that have had a lot of, have a lot of time with certain roles. It's hardest to move. But yes, and I think it's coming, and that's what I want now, and help to the entrepreneurs that are moving to a corporation to create cultures that are going to be able to attract the new generations and the new talent.
Yeah. So what let's talk about the new generation, because I'm fascinated a lot.
Yeah.
And I agree with what you said, that my generation, I'm 1985, we grew up without social media, without phones, so the way to do things was the traditional way. So I never embraced that, but I've seen that all my life. Now with the new generation, I hear, just like you, that they know that they don't want to waste their time doing something that they don't like. They know they have the options with the technology, with the start a business, to make money from home on your phone. So we see these two worlds right now living together. The old world that is still present, but the new world that is totally different.
Yeah.
So it's, for someone like you that you run in the middle, it must be a challenge, but also exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting, and thanks to that, I'm like waking up this passion for helping the companies to adapt to receive this new generation, and I'm now in love with this new generation. I have been like studying their behavior, why they move, what inspired them.
Tell me
and
more. I'm curious.
It's very interesting.
What are the
What I think
main
is,
points?
I think that the key strength that this generation has is, the first one is the conviction. They move with a purpose, with a conviction. If this is not in line with their belief, they don't. I mean, I prefer them to take it. So that's very good because they are congruent. The second strength is like the importance of wellness is much more like important, and mental health. They are like, I would say that the new definition of success for them is not having the mansion, is not having like this rich life, is having happiness, mental health, calm, and enjoying life.
Time to enjoy what they want.
Yeah, that's the definition. That's why flexibility is so important for them. So they want to work, but they want to have time for what they believe, what they love. And I love that now. It's like I can spend like 3 hours in the gym, so I need that.
So we are learning from the new generation.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
And which are the areas that they need help is relationship, as I commented.
Yeah.
And also, like, they had been growing in like this on-demand world because everything is in immediately. So they need to learn to be patient. Patient is like they think that they start a role and they can move in 3 months. And no, you have to learn, enjoy. So they think that in 3 months that I'm ready for the next. No, you're not ready.
For them, the world moves faster.
Exactly.
Right?
So we have to teach them, like, take a breath.
Take your time.
Take your time, enjoy the process, and learn to be ready to grow. And the other thing that is super important for them is because they are like very emotional, let's say vulnerable, or I mean, that's why mental health is very important for them, because they have been growing in this hyper stimulation world. So they are always like, like stress. And that actually I was studying the reason why, and the reason why is obviously when the generation changed radically when the smartphone was popularized. That was in 2009, 2010, because it was not even social media. Because if social media were in a PC where you don't have it like every day, that is not a problem. Because it's a nice moment during the day.
You go home, you check your Facebook.
But when the popularization of the smartphone, that everybody can have like everything at phone,
you're connected 24/7.
Yeah, that we changed what we call the childhood, the play-based childhood, to iPhone childhood. It's like they are not going out to run, to have like hide and seek, and they are now playing in a fun, in a very close place. So the development of the human emotions has been different. So that's why
which is super important for the evolution of the
for the evolution. So that's why they, I mean, they get stressed for any like discussion. Everything is like a drama, you know. So so we have to teach them like how to get calm. Life is like there is no problem for everything, and try to get relationships, like meaningful relationship, because stress levels, people feel lonely. And
why is that? Because
they are in the phone. They are not getting interactions, and when you get interactions, we segregate hormones, and that doesn't happen when you are in a phone. In a phone, you generate like dopamine, that is like pleasure. But oxytocin, that is this like when you are in a relationship that you is meaningful for you, and when you are like serotonin, that is like progress. All those hormones are when you go to work, when you have relationships. So they are like lacking that type of
wow, that's interesting.
Brain chemistry.
From one side they are very advanced, but from the other side it feels like there's a regression.
So that's why we can help them to teach that, because we know about relationships. So if we mix both generations, we can like change the world.
how so like let's say some practical things. You already kind of said it, like how can we help the new generation with these things, like socializing? What would be the best way? Like get out, like keep the phones, but that will create anxiety, you know?
But we have to force them. I'm trying to do that with my daughter. Before I was like, Mommy, I have to go. No, you have to do the homework. You have to do it. Now I'm like, Mommy, get out, meet people.
And how does
get relationships?
Is she like anxious?
No, that they are like improving a lot in terms of that. I mean, they are like having right friendships, relationship. The relationship with my mom, with all the family, have improved, and the same with my team. And always say like, when they come, Adri, I have a problem with the technology engineer. That I invite a coffee, get out with him. And that's the solution. Like create relationships after you meet a person, and start to create a relationship. Everything works better. Because at the end, as human being, when you know someone, you try to help them, because that's a human.
Following what you said, you just told me like when you got here, that now with this new like direction that you're taking, you're working more like connecting with people, meeting people, and I noticed, and you confirmed that at least in Miami, I don't know in other places, that there's a lot of these Latina, or I don't know if it's only Latina or just women in general, that they like to help each other. I think that's beautiful. Like what happens in these like events? Is it like for business only, or like also
no, actually I started in this journey of changing. I did an exercise of, okay, if I really want to change my life, I need to learn, and I want to define what I want. So I started to define, okay, which communities I want to be part. So I did like my strategy for, I want a community of corporate executives that are in reinvention process.
How do you find that?
With seeing people networking, and I started to see a coworker that it was like trying to talk like we are like trying to talk in social media, and I started to ask, hey, what are you doing? Why are you starting like you and me? Hey, what are you doing? Like exactly the same. And
so she's doing the same that you're doing, like transitioning from.
He's not transitioning now. He's a guy.
Okay.
But he's also in the process. But I saw he was starting to share his beliefs in social media. So I started. How did you start this? I want to know it. And he
that's how you started doing
exactly.
this.
So that's how I found the community where I started this process.
Okay.
He told me, okay, I'm in this community. They are talking about personal branding as well. So okay, and I started with that community, and then
Only women.
no.
Everyone.
That the first one was like it's a 40+ league that is it's a community for corporate people that is in reinvention process. And then I started like, okay, I want another community for my studies, and I also I defined I want a community where I can add a value to women, and I started in Hello Latinas. And after this, I connect with another community that is like a entrepreneurship university. It's called Diversity, and I started there.
They teach you like
they teach me how to be an entrepreneur.
Like everything from branding, website.
Yeah, exactly. Like from scratch. Like what's your mindset, how you learn, how you become.
Is it helpful? You
A
find?
lot.
Really?
A lot. Yeah, I'm taking the decision, so.
So that's cool. And something that I noticed is it's usually more women than men that help each other in these transition moments.
Yeah.
With my ex-girlfriend, she was going these events, women that had trauma, women that had trouble relationship, and they meet and they support each other, and they find like activities to be together. I don't see that in a man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I think that women.
What is going on, guys?
I think that women are more willing to have relationships, and we don't have this ego of if I ask help, I'm weak. I think that maybe for men that's a challenge.
More the old generation, or it doesn't matter the generation?
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter the generation, because if I see the stress level in young generation is also like growing a lot. And I think in general, I think it's part of as we are like women is like we are more social and we
supportive.
More like talk. We love talk.
Yeah, I know.
So it's, for us, it's more.
But that's also good because
good because you drain your. I mean, you talk about your problems, and we are. I mean, we share what we are much more social, and I think that help a lot to drain, to share, to venting, to also get advices, because at the end we think that our problems are like, wow, everybody has the same problems,
and then you're like, oh shit, I thought I was like so
exactly, it was only
alone
me.
in
No,
my problem.
Exactly. And when you share that, you hear a different perspective, and okay, I'm gonna try that. And in this, I mean, in the first moment that you start to do something, you feel better in whatever challenge you have. So, I think that's the difference.
I like that.
So,
something that I'm also like I talk about, I'm fascinated about is like the dynamics of relationships, men and women in today's society, and how do you see? Because a lot of people say that things have changed, that men are different today compared to men in different generations, 1-2 generations ago. Dating is complicated. It's hard to find someone that wants to like be with you. Like, how do you see all of this?
I mean, yes, it depends on.
We talk about toxic masculinity, toxic femininity. My last guest, I don't know if you saw the interview. He was talking about the fact that today, like, there's this toxic femininity in which men are looked at, they're dangerous, and they take advantage of you. So it feels like there's a lot of division. Whether you see it one way or the other way, there's a lot of division. Instead of cooperating and working together, it feels like we are almost in competition, which is absurd.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I have been reflecting a lot about that too, because I was like much more like women empowerment, and we can do everything alone. Actually, I posted something about this like last week, the Women Day, that I mean, I have changed my perception about women empowerment, because for my previous perspective it was like, okay, you can do it alone, you don't need anyone to go. So that was like even getting me far away of the relationships. It's like, no, I don't do anything alone. It's much better with someone and with friends or with a partner, and with love. I mean, at the end, that like having that expectations and that like I can do whatever, and it's like, I mean, it depends, but I think even for men is the same. They put like very high expectations in everything.
Yeah.
And at the end,
I think it's society that puts a lot of
yeah,
expectation on
exactly
both, you know.
And then happiness is a matter of expectation, because if you achieve what you want, you're happy. So if you put the expectations so high in your relationship, in your love, in your friends, in your work, you're not gonna get it, and you're gonna be frustrated.
Be frustrated and stressed.
But if you put the expectation in the right level, where you're gonna be challenging but getting there in a very often pace, you're gonna be happy because you feel that I'm achieving that. That's the same for relationship, for love, and for everything. It's like, why to dream with like this like ideal?
Yeah.
No, it's, you know. It's,
What do you think like is the, like, how can we make like a relationship work in your
I'm not an expert. I mean, I'm expert in friends relationship, not in.
No, yeah, well, okay, I'm talking about personal, you know, because with all these dynamics going on, like I want to be independent, like what do you think is like the place in where we meet and we're like, let's make it work. I do this, you do that. I give my part, you give your part.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of reading about this, you know. Sometimes it's letting go of your ego a lot.
Yeah.
What you carry from your past, your family, you know,
Exactly.
like
Yeah. It's a very
it's a long conversation,
interesting process.
because sometimes we carry in us things that are not even ours, but they were
Exactly.
passed down from our
Yeah.
parents or grandparents.
And becoming our perception of the life.
And become our perception of our life, or sometimes it's the culture that we come from that it expects us to be in a certain way, and we don't see who we really are, but
Yeah.
we just like
Yeah.
go with that collective mindset.
Exactly. I think what you said is the first step, is like being honest with what you really are. That for me was the game changer. Because at the end, I always said, okay, my family is my priority. My daughters is the most important thing. And when I saw the time that I spent with them, it was really very few. I mean, it was like because at the end, I was traveling around the world. I was working 10 to 12 hours every day.
Your ex-husband was with them?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And at the end, I thought I was like a wonderful life, and that was not real. That was not true, because at the end, what I wanted was to be with my daughters, taking care of myself, because I love to work out. I love my nutrition. I love my mental peace.
You talk a lot about that in your Instagram.
Yeah, because for me that's like
the nutrition is really important.
Super important. At the end, I mean, if the first step for me is take off the sugar. Because at the sugar bring you the peaks of insulin and emotions and
were you
and
always
stuff
like this?
I would say like most of my life. Now the last years I've been like very, very disciplined.
Okay.
But I have been always taking care of myself. Now I'm reading a lot. I know a lot about like really healthy nutrition. Previous year was like
just
eating supplements and all the stuff just for image, not healthy. Now I'm healthy.
That's a difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah. Looking fit and being healthy is not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So now I'm healthy. And that for me was the first step, like being honest with my beliefs.
It's not easy.
It's not easy
already,
because even
that's
we
a
didn't know. I mean, I
journey.
didn't know. For example, that's another very good insight. That is like I always say I don't like to cook, and I was like always eating healthy but buying food, and even with my daughters, they were like, okay, buy food, Uber Eats, and that, and I started to say in this process like 3 years ago, like, how is possible that if I know the importance of nutrition, I'm ordering Uber Eats like almost every day. I started to cook, and now I love cooking, and my daughters also love my food.
Oh yeah.
It's very simple, but that's what I love. I miss is like meat with salt and pepper.
You want to control over that part of your life that.
Exactly. So I took control of that now, and I cook. My favorite food is the food that I cook.
Did you cook?
Oh, my mom. That has helped me a lot. But that was a change in line with my beliefs, and I didn't know that, and many things like that. It's like I'm being honest with my beliefs.
How can someone and that is exactly what I talk about in the hero's journey, like instead of going out, like going within and discovering like who you are and what is your mission here. It sounds very easy, but it's
hard.
It takes a lot of and it's just like the hero's journey, there's a lot of stages in which you need to go through to discover these truths. How can someone do that?
Well, I think that if you take the time to like reflection, if you want to change, if you don't feel like you are completely happy with your life, at least give you the doubt that you can change and start seeing what to do. What I did was I made 3 questions that are coming from Tony Robbins. That is like, the first one is, okay, if you don't know what you really want, at least think, who is the person that you think is the person that you want to become in? So who is the person that inspires you?
Who's yours?
Simon Sinek.
Whoa, the guy start with your why? That guy?
Exactly.
So he's someone that you're looking up and you're like, I want to be like
I want to be Simon Sinek for Latin America.
Whoa.
And I started to obviously watch him, how they talk, what he say. And the second question is, okay, if you want to be like that person, what you have to learn. So I searched what Simon Sinek studied. He's a very expert in anthropologist, neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and also neuroscience. So I have 3 years studying that.
You've been studying all of that?
Yep.
By yourself?
Yep.
Wow.
Obviously, some online courses and also in Miami University.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have been studying different things for the last 3 years.
How many hours you sleep a night? 2 hours?
Yeah. It was like, now I'm sleeping because now I know the importance of sleeping. So you have to sleep, Adriana, if you want muscle.
what is, like, for example, NLP? Because I've heard it many times. What is it? To reprogram your, like Joe Dispenza?
Exactly. So
that's so cool.
That means that you have a superpower with your mind. So, for example, if let's do an exercise.
Okay.
Close your eyes. So imagine that you are in your favorite beach. Can you say it?
Exactly, yes.
Exactly. That's NLP. So you can open your eyes now. That was like, there are many things, but that's one of. I mean,
like visualization?
It's like you have the superpower with your mind to go to any place that you want and to feel what you really want, no matter if you physically are in a hard situation. So help with that to move forward. Because if you are facing something really hard, and you make the exercise to bring to your mind something that is going to bring peace or help you to move forward, you can pass that moment and keep going. But
Utilizing your mind.
exactly, using your mind. And something that is more like neuroscience is start like having awareness of your mind and your brain are different things.
Ah.
So your mind is coming from the limbic system, that is this thought, this voice, internal voice that you have. And your brain is your hardware. It's like software and hardware.
Okay.
Yeah? So your brain is a muscle that make what your mind says. So if with your this internal voice,
so the mind controls the brain.
Exactly.
So we have to focus on the mind.
Exactly, in your thoughts. And so when you have the ability to control your thoughts, that is your mind, and start talking to your brain, like, we can do this. This challenge is gonna take us to a better place. Your brain is gonna take you there.
So, like, what kind of exercise can you do, like, to...
Mira, that's bringing to meditation point. That is part of NLP too. But at the end, it's like...
Do you meditate?
Yeah, a lot. Every day of my life.
Huh.
Yeah. But at the end, meditation is an anatomy for the brain. It's like a gym for the brain. Because at the end, your brain... you make the best decision when you are in peace. And meditation brings you alpha frequencies.
Because if you're in fight or flight, survival,
exactly.
you make bad decisions because you're...
Exactly, because you are in emotions and you are with a lot of hyper beta frequency. So when you are like in a balance with alpha frequency, that is mindfulness and all this meditation brings to your brain, you are in calm, so you can think and make a decision. So if you develop this ability to meditate, and at the end, meditation is how to focus your brain and your mind in one thing without all the noise that you have and distraction. As a consequence, you have better decisions and you have peace. So meditations can be very spiritual, and but also is an exercise for focus. Because now I have the ability, if I'm in a meeting, I'm focused on the priorities. I'm not thinking in the 5 next steps that I have from the previous meeting or the other thing that I have not finished in the next one, and not the 3 WhatsApp that my daughter sent me. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking in one thing.
So, like, let's say, for example, before an important meeting, do you meditate?
Kind of meditation. For example, I practice breathing. That is a kind of meditation. Is at the end, when I have an important meeting, I have my ritual in my office. It's it's breathing. It's like I inhale for 4 seconds and then exhale for 5 seconds. That exhalation should be longer than inhalation. So
to activate the
parasympathetic. Exactly, and to move. Get out all the air that you have, and then apnea for 3 or 4 seconds. And you do this for 2 minutes, and your mind is gonna be like cleaner. And I do that like before every important meeting. And also there is actually, I have a photo, a picture of my daughter in my phone. Also, bringing the people that you love before an important event is gonna help you to produce oxytocin. And that's the driver of creativity and the motivation. So that's also an exercise that is kind of meditation. At the end, is how you focus your mind in something. So I have these like hacks before stressing moments during my day, and also I walk every noon at lunch with sunlight, because sunlight also is energy. And
you're doing all the good things.
Yeah, I'm trying, but I have been years like building habits.
There's a book that when you were talking came to my mind. You have to read it. I read it last year. It's called Rest.
Okay.
Are you familiar?
No.
So this he's like a researcher, I think from Stanford. This Korean guy. He studied like all the like great minds and creatives, and they all had in common that the fact no one was like working hard the whole day. They were dividing the day in like little chunks. Let's say like
90 minutes should be
4 hours, and these 4 hours you break it down like 90 minutes. Then you take a break.
That's it. Pomodoro. No, the Pomodoro is like a shorter.
Everyone had their own, but they also always saved some time for meditative activities, whether it's riding, whether it's walking, whether it's sleeping, because the importance to have your mind just relax, de-stress, and just go and wander. And when you allow your mind to relax, then you get a lot of creative ideas that you're gonna use for, if you're a writer, if you're a scientist, if you're like, I don't know, Steve Jobs, for example, that he had very practical things to fix, you know. So the important to rest your mind and not always being go, because the mind needs a break. That, but also needs the opposite. Because it's when, for example, when you're sleeping, when you're taking naps, when you're walking without the phone, that your subconscious is still working, and you get maybe answers or solutions for problems that if you think about it, you never get.
Yep, it's like that. So if you create this habit, you can make better decisions. You can have a healthy and a peace life, you know. It's like a more peaceful life. So it's very, very interesting.
So let's go back. So you said one of the things was to have like someone to aspire to. And
that was actually, I forgot what we were talking about.
I'm not, don't worry. We digressed a lot, but I'm still there.
That was the first question. Simon Sinek was my inspiration. Then I learned, I searched what he learned, what he studied.
So you made a plan, like, hey, I made a plan. He studied this, I'm gonna study this.
Wow. And I'm a fan now.
Okay.
That's like a passion for me.
What made him so special? What's special about this guy?
I don't know. I think
what
they
is he,
believe.
Like a scientist?
He was actually in the corporate, in finance, I guess, and he was not feeling good in his job, and he started to.
No one likes to be in corporate, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I was so
CEO of her company. I'm sorry, I don't. But what I hear is no one likes to be in corporate.
No, yeah, there are a lot of happy people in corporate.
Really?
Yeah, okay. For sure. And
so maybe people like you that
I really believe. I mean, not only I believe, we have to do something that the people can be happy in the corporate world. Yeah. Because at the end, 90% of population is an employee. So we have to
90%.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have to help them to be happy working for others.
Mm-hmm.
And the companies also gonna get the benefit of having happy people that for sure is gonna be much more productive.
Yeah.
So at the end, I learned that. And the third question was.
So wait, so he was a corporate, and then he left corporate.
He decided he was like frustrated. He decided I have to leave this, and I started to study human being anthropologists and
that's
this,
so cool.
and he finds his why, that is helping inspire people to find their why.
Okay.
And
that is your why also.
Exactly. So I have very common beliefs with him, and I always was following him, and I was like very inspired.
Maybe one day you'll do an interview with him.
Yeah, I think I will.
That's good.
I'm starting to search.
Manifest.
Yeah, manifested. And also looking for a live event where I can meet him.
Okay.
Yeah. And the third question was
who I want to.
The second is what I have to learn. So
okay.
The first one is who is
Find
inspiring. The second is what you have to learn, and the third one is which people do you have to meet to get there.
Who do you have to meet?
It's like meeting. I mean,
the
community.
You.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's why I brought the communities. No, is that maybe it's not to meet him, is to be like that. No, it's how you become in that person.
Okay.
And I started. Okay, if I wanna one of the things, as I commented, if I want to be an entrepreneur, I have to learn. And I started to look for communities. And I started to be to Diversity, which is a entrepreneur university. And I started to socialize with entrepreneurs. And now I'm like, I feel like them.
What's the difference? Because so the way that I see you right now is you are absorbing a different type of vibration, because you want to, from this vibration you want to go to this vibration. So you're absorbing a lot. What kind of mindset do you need to have to be that person, like the entrepreneur? Is it a different mindset that
Totally different.
Why? What is different? I mean, I know when you have a business, you always have to, you're working 24/7, you never stop.
Yeah.
You have to be creative.
There are many. I think that first is like being vulnerable and don't looking for the perfection is the first mindset. It's like, I want a dream.
Being perfection is sometimes a limit.
Exactly. So I have a dream. I want to achieve it. And I'm defining like a small steps. And I'm going to learn in the process. I don't care if, even now that I'm posting a lot, and I don't care if that's perfect or not, I'm learning. And that's my objective. So that's a different mindset. It's like you're here to enjoy the process and learn. When you're going to get there, I don't know. In corporate, you have deadlines, you have the target. This is the process, this is the system, you have to deliver each quarter this.
Okay.
Doesn't exist in the entrepreneurship. It's like go with the flow and enjoy, and good luck.
So let's use the hero's journey to explore this. So how are you feeling? Like, are you scared? Are you self-doubt? I'm like, what am I doing? Am I crazy?
But I'm feeling that I have the best time of my life now. I'm enjoying the process a lot, but it's because I have been working in my mindset for the last 2 years.
So you've been preparing your mind.
Exactly. Because 2 years ago, I was not like with this confidence and let's do it and it's gonna work and I'm gonna figure out. So now I'm secure that it's the right decision.
Okay.
And also I'm enjoying this with my daughters and like
what do they say?
No, they are so excited.
Like, let's go,
yeah,
Mom.
Let's go, Mom. You can do it. Actually, my youngest daughter also, when I talked with her, with Sasa, and I said, Sasa, I have this project. I want to quit my job. And she was like, Mommy, I believe in you. Move forward. It was like, for me, I was
What's her name?
Sabrina.
Sabrina, amazing. From what I know now about you, both of you are amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah, they are both my heroes.
Wow.
And
she was like, "Hey, Ma, I believe in you.
I believe in you. Go." And actually, she told me, "Anyway, Mom, if it doesn't work, go back to what you have done.
Yeah.
Move."
Sometimes we create too many problems in our heads.
Too many problems, and they. Good thing is that this new generation love this. They were like, this is what I want. It's like, move. Because they were not dreaming with that fancy and luxury. No. Mm-hmm. They want to have time for them. So what I'm doing now, that is looking for it's not, I would say, it's freedom, but it's not free time. It's like freedom to make decisions based on what I want and I believe. But I'm sure that I'm going to work even more. But in something that I really love, in something that I really believe, and having time to make decisions to go to work whatever time I want, and go to work out and go to the gym at whatever time I want, and spend time with my daughters when I want. So that's for me the driver. It's not the money. It's not that I'm going to work less. I'm sure I'm not going to work less. But I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing because it's congruent with my beliefs.
When is the date? The last date?
April 15. You're very close.
April 15, March. Oh, in 1 month.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 month to go.
Yeah, it's very close.
I was listening to this podcast about this woman that she, from corporate, she moved into entrepreneurship, and she's also like a healer. She's a spiritual. She helps people with energies and all of that. And she was saying that being an entrepreneur, it's a spiritual journey because you're dealing with a lot of your own
Yep.
stuff, your fears, your doubts, your wounds. It's all gonna come to surface because you don't have like someone to rely on, whether it's your boss or whatever. It's you with yourself. So a lot of things,
Exactly.
you know, you will have to deal with because they're gonna come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's fascinating to hear. You know.
For now, I mean, has been amazing, and I have met people that I really, really admire. I have a friend that is entrepreneur that had been like critical in this process. He gave me like confidence. Actually, he was the person that like, Adriana, write the resolution letter, make a decision, because they have this mindset. It's like, move forward, you are going to figure out, see your life, you have figured out a lot of challenges, you can
harder than this.
exactly, you do it, move forward. And
If you think about it, like moving to a different country with your family,
a
different
lot of
language.
things. I had an accident. I almost lost my leg. I know,
really?
I mean, yeah, I have had many challenges.
So this
And I
one
have
is
been-
probably like
it's like easier than many of the challenges that I have had. So yeah, I would say if you want to change your life, meet people that is already where you want to be, and you are going to become in them for sure. Because
say
that's-
that again. Oh, this is I like this. Say that again. If you
if
want.
you really want to change your life, look for people that is already there and start getting meaningful relationship with them, and you are going to become in one of them person, because at the end your brain is going to say that's the place where I want to be, and it's going to help you to better.
Wow, I love this.
Yeah.
I asked you everything that I wanted to ask you. Is there anything that you want to say that you didn't say? Where can people, if they want to reach out to you, where can they find you? I give you like total freedom now to say whatever you want.
No, I have enjoyed this time, and it has been really like funny, and share my story with
Yeah, yeah.
you. And actually, I think we have many things in common. So no, and I'm happy to be here.
You have a website?
For now, I'm in my social media. My website is in the oven. It's gonna be ready like in.
Oh, it's
2
still
more
baking,
weeks.
like
Yeah, I'm still working on the process, and I think I'm gonna like have everything ready in like a couple of weeks.
Okay.
But I'm Adri Mora. My Instagram is Adri_Mora_. And then, well, thanks for the time.
Thank you for sharing. I really enjoy. Hi to the girls. You guys are like heroes over here for this.
Let's to create more heroes in this life.
Bye, guys. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.